The great William Shakespeare, in one of his classics, Twelfth Night, wrote these famous lines: "Some people are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness entrusted upon them." The life of the Vice-Chancellor, Federal University of Technology, Minna, Professor Musbau Akanji, finds some harmony with the great statement of the literary icon. Born into a humble and devout Muslim family on the 4th of January 1953, Professor Musbau Akanji, from his childhood, remained focused as he was destined for greatness. Professor Musbau Akanji is of the Akanji family, Kure's compound, Esa Ward in Ofa Town, Kwara State, North Central Nigeria. He spent his childhood in the community, attending grammar school between 1965 and 1969 after his primary education. From 1970 to 1971, he was at the famous Olivet Baptist High School, Oyo, for his advanced level program. The young Musbau Akanji enrolled at the University of Ibadan, where he obtained a Bachelor of Science degree with second-class upper division in biochemistry in 1975. He later proceeded to the University of Ife, Ile-Ife, now Obafemi Awolowo University, for his master's and doctorate degrees, which he obtained in 1982 and 1986 respectively.
Professor Musbau Akanji is, as a grammarian, is a highly disciplined person, very intelligent, very honest, and hardworking. So I'm not surprised that he's been Vice Chancellor twice. I think he has made his mark in the administration of higher education in Nigeria.
In terms of being a relationship, is very good. When it comes to academic, he's somebody that when he teaches, you like to be in his class.
It has always been my ambition to work in a university. So it was not difficult for me to decide to move from purely research institute to University of Ilorin. So I started as lecturer grade 1 and moved gradually at University of Ilorin until I became professor.
Musbau Akanji is a man that has worked diligently and rose through the ranks to become a professor in 1993.
And he's a very straightforward person, highly principled, and very, very hardworking.
I learned one thing from him. He's God-fearing and he's very, very honest.
Professor Akanji served in various capacities at the University of Ilorin before his appointment as pioneer Vice-Chancellor at Hikima University between 2005 and January 2008.
The experience there is completely different because as the first faith-based university, we did not get students the first year. In fact, the first year, our quota was 500. We were able to get, before we got 70, it was very, very tough. And because there was no sure means of funding was not easy. So running the university was really tight, but it was a worthy experience.
A man of many virtues, Professor Musbau Akanji was appointed the 6th substantive Vice-Chancellor of the Federal University of Technology, Minna, having emerged the best candidate out of the 7 applicants shortlisted for a rigorous and transparent selection process. His appointment as the Vice-Chancellor was smooth, but his assumption of office was not, as some people felt shortchanged in the selection process.
They went to court. We got as far as Federal Court of Appeal in Abuja. But because I know they are not against me as a person, and because I have a vision for the university, the first thing I did is to visit all of them in their offices. CEO, Vice-Chancellor has been appointed. Vice-Chancellor has resumed. I will need your assistance to run.
After that, the Vice-Chancellor outlined his vision and mission and checked himself regularly. Firstly, Professor Akanji restored university culture and tradition, as well as brought timeliness and promptness in all activities of the university.
When we were students, when a lecturer says, I will come by 9 o'clock, it means 9:00. So at University of Ilorin, during the time of the present JAMB registrar, he reinvented timeliness. So I served him as a director. So when we say 9 o'clock, we close the door by exactly 9 o'clock. So it was already part of me. So when I came here and I saw that we need to reinvent, and I showed by example. If there is a meeting by 10, I get there 5 minutes to 10. So within 1 week, 2 weeks, people started buying into it. So
he is the only vice chancellor of the university that knows the residencies of the staff and students.
He's very down to earth. He's somebody that relates with the low and mighty. He attends even naming ceremonies of cleaners and messengers, just to tell you how down to earth he is.
In terms of humility, I've never seen Vice Chancellor apologizing to a student before. On this day, he was going around the campus, he saw a student urinating in a very hot place. After chastising the student just had an opportunity to say, but excuse me, sir, look at toilet. I entered that toilet, it's locked. I tried this toilet, it's locked. And the VC said, is that true? Oh yeah, go and open it, let me see. He found that it was locked, actually. He started apologizing, checking his pocket. All the money he found in his pocket was begging the student, please, I'm sorry. It's the fault of the system.
An administrator per excellence, Professor Musbau Akanji, encourages principal officers to air their views and is always ready to accept superior arguments that would enhance the fortunes of the university.
He felt very free with everybody, even though we were meeting for the first time. But from the way he was articulating his positions on things, I knew that this is somebody that has a very good knowledge of Nigerian university system and the educational sector in general.
I've learned a lot. First is humility. He's not executive vice chancellor, but he's a team leader. He will tell us what he wants and we will debate it. And he always bow to superior argument.
Another thing that's very interesting in his leadership approach is this. You see, in the course of management meetings, he gives you room for contribution. He never takes a final decision on any issue. He brings it on board and asks for personal contribution and opinion, freedom of opinion, contributions. How do you see it? This. Then finally, when I come, this is how I see it. Then he gives room for a lot of debate. Then at the end, conclusively, we'll go for the best option.
I made sure that my door is completely open. Anybody can come and give me idea. I don't have a fixed position on matters. I allow myself to be influenced, but you must come with your argument that will be better than the one that I put forward.
As part of efforts aimed at restoring the lost glory of the university, Professor Musbau Akanji, on assumption of office, pledged to leverage on the appreciable progress recorded by his predecessors to launch the university into international recognition.
I wanted to put the university on auto run, so the vice chancellor not being around will not remove anything from the university. You can only do that when you trust your subordinates, and I have no cause to regret trusting all my subordinates that have worked with me.
The resultant effect is that the decision started yielding positive results within the first 6 months of Professor Akanji's tenure.
You see, when he came, I think his main focus, his main challenge is that, okay, where is the position of our universities today when you rank it with other universities in the country?
I had the opportunity of leading the web content committee under him, and within 6 months of his coming, the Federal University of Technology, Minna, for the first time, emerged amongst the 100 top-ranked African universities when we came out 75th based on the 4 ICU ranking. At that time, we were the 9th best university in Nigeria. And since then, a lot of progress has been made. Today, as we are speaking, the university is the 5th best university in Nigeria and 45th in Africa.
He made a good choice in the appointment of Director ITS. He was thinking outside the box, and he appointed an academic staff whom he had confidence in. And this man has turned everything around. Everything we do today that routinely we were doing manually before are now automated.
By the time I resumed, we were number 28 in Nigeria. We are not even featuring in Africa, not to talk of the world. So from my experience where I came from, I set up a committee. The committee worked very hard. And within a short period of time, we started improving our ranking. By the last ranking, which was July 31 this year, we are number 1 out of the specialized universities in Nigeria. We are number 5 in out of 154 universities in Nigeria, we are number 5. Then we are number 45 out of more than 4,300 universities in Africa.
In the area of infrastructural development, Professor Musbau Akanji, the 6th substantive Vice Chancellor of the Federal University of Technology, Minna, constructed the multi-billion naira 2 ultra-modern female hostels, adjudged to be the best in Nigeria under the Presidential Needs Assessment Funds. They have been commissioned during the 26th convocation ceremony of the university.
Professor Akanji, as the Vice Chancellor of Federal University, had been a blessing to this university. As a person, he is unassuming. He carried everybody along.
Then when you go into structural achievements, he was able to put in place, right, an hostel that you call an hotel. In the whole of this country, in Nigeria, there's no any university that has an hostel like ours.
Infrastructural development took a very high premium during his tenure. A lot of structures came up that helped to improve accommodation, hostel accommodation, office accommodation, classroom accommodation.
We have the best female hostel in Nigerian university system. Every room has air conditioner and everybody is comfortable. They will have 24 hours of electricity and 24 hours of water.
Professor Akanji also completed Academic Publishing Center to serve as publication center for academic journals for all the universities in the north-central geopolitical zone of the country. The project was sponsored by TET Fund. 3 blocks of 500 seating capacity hall equipped with desktop computers were constructed by Professor Akanji to improve electronic examination administration among the students of the university.
In terms of academic content, today, Federal University of Technology, Minna, virtually all our programs have full accreditation with the National Universities Commission due to deliberate efforts at making sure that curriculum development and educational quality is enhanced during his time.
And in the Committee of Vice Chancellor, it's well recognized that Minna has always become reference point for anything good.
Construction of West African Sciences Service Center on climate change and adapted land use was done during the tenure of Professor Akanji. The center runs a postgraduate program on climate change and other related issues. Akanji's tenure also witnessed the construction of Entrepreneurship Center, a skill acquisition center, as well as a place for training and development of staff, students, and those outside the university community. The project was sponsored by TED Fund. 2 lecture rooms of 200 seating capacity each were also constructed for the School of Entrepreneurship and Management Technology. A lecture theatre of 500 seating capacity is ongoing. The project, sponsored by the Needs Assessment Funds, is aimed at creating additional lecture facilities for the students in the School of Entrepreneurship and Management Technology.
Then we are building a School of Entrepreneurship. We have built a block of classroom for them. Their lecture theatre is about 70% completed now.
Professor Akanji's tenure also witnessed the construction of School of Agriculture and Agricultural Technology Phase 2. The project serves as an extension to the existing School of Agriculture